So since the um, inception of the Trump administration in the U.S., we've had um, new tariffs and and then the emergence of the tariff wars. Let me use that word. And a lot of different countries and nations are already scrambling. Europe, China, Mexico, Canada, and there have been a lot of back and forth. I hit you, you hit me, you tariff me, I tariff you. But in the midst of all this, in the midst of all this drama and all this new global wave, in terms of um, whatever that is coming to my country now, you are going to pay me this or I'm going to charge you this for it. How do Africa benefit? How do Africa benefit from all this? Is there any advantage? Is there any beneficial advantage that is coming to Africa in large, or even to Nigeria specifically, in the midst of all these tariff wars? All right, so in case you are coming across a video like this for the first time, this meet the Podcast Property channel, and this we discuss everything real estate. For people like you, either newbies, avid investors, or property enthusiasts, we talk about the risk, the opportunities, the problems, the challenges about investing in Nigeria, investing in Nigeria's real estate, and investing in Lagos real estate. So after watching this particular educative guide, I will also suggest you go to any of our playlists. We have so much playlists, and you can just pick any of them and start watching the videos that we have on each of them one by one. This is something we have been doing for over 5 years. So I can confidently tell you there is almost nothing that you are trying to look out for regarding the Nigeria real estate, Lagos real estate, that I'm not talking about. All right, now, so the U.S. tariff was basically how does Africa benefit? How is there any benefits? Is there any advantage coming to Africa? Yeah, before we start to discuss these, if this is your first time, fifth time, second time, third time, 10th time that you are coming across my channel, we want you to subscribe. We are invited to subscribe. We'll be very excited and highly encouraged if you can subscribe to our channel. We have a milestone to hit 5K subscribers, and then we start chasing 10K subscribers, and then start chasing 50K subscribers, and start chasing 100K subscribers. Yeah, it's very, very possible. Why can't I? It's very possible. We can hit that. And the more people that we get to subscribe, the more views we get, the more views we get, the more knowledgeable people become about the market, about the industry, and people can avoid making some certain reputable mistakes. And that's definitely going to help our market a lot. All right. So, like I said, the Trump administration in the U.S., in the United States, came with a lot of new tariffs, and now there's a tariff war. It's dying down gradually. But how does Africa benefit from all this? Now, for quite some time, we've been talking to investors, particularly of Nigerians in diaspora, about investing in Nigeria and investing in Africa, and they've been ignoring the fact that Africa is the place to be. That's the truth. Um, the Chinese are heavily investing in Africa, heavily investing in African infrastructure, because they understand that they cannot solely rely on the US market. Around 22 to 23% of all Chinese exports goes to the US market. And one very big market that can at least take up half of that export within the next 10, 15 years is the Africa market, because Africa has a population. And Africa's population is growing faster than almost every other continent in the world. So at some point, in the next couple of years, around 40% of the global population will be in Africa alone. And around 50% of all population workforce, that's, let's say, people below 50 or people below 30, 50% of that population will be at Africa at some point. So a lot of nations are already looking at their markets and looking at how to diversify the risk attached to their markets. And one big location where they can diversify their risk into is into Africa. So Africa number one is going to benefit from the fact that the Chinese now have once again reawakened um, and once again realized that they cannot solely rely on the US as their major export market. So they now also want to produce for Africa. They now also want to penetrate into Africa. They now also want to ask what are Africans using, what are Africans buying, what are the things that they can sell in Africa in large numbers. Nigeria alone is over 300 million people. There's Ghana, there's South Africa, there's Egypt, there's Rwanda, there's Kenya, there's Ethiopia, to name it, So they are, and one fantastic thing about the Chinese is they are flexible. You get? So they want to understand the local market and produce for that local market, and they will sell. So Africa is going to benefit in that regard because now, in the next 10 years, there'll be more influx of Chinese investments, more influx of Chinese products, more influx of Chinese loans, and and most of these loans are definitely going into infrastructure. The free trade zone is Chinese loan. The proposed airport is likely going to be Chinese loan. The Fort Milan Bridge is Chinese loan. A lot of the train stations that are being built in Lagos is Chinese loan. Even the Lagos to Ibadan rail line was Chinese loan too. So a lot of more infrastructure projects, infrastructure projects in Africa also. More Chinese loans will also go into them. Yeah, the loans are definitely two-sided, but at least our infrastructure is going to develop. Our infrastructure is going to get better. Yeah, we may get more into loans and then have to seed some certain infrastructure or seed some certain assets, but at least the Nigeria of 2025 and the Nigeria of 2040 will not be the same if we can get more infrastructure loans, and those loans are actually put into those infrastructures. Right. So now, the second way that Africa is going to benefit is, fortunately for Nigeria particularly, since the past 4 to 3 years, there has been a change from importation to local production in Nigeria. So via the government policies, the government movement, the increase in the custom duty, the closure of borders, the semi-border, and all those. So forcefully, we were forced to start looking at local alternatives for some certain products, and we were also forced to move production of some certain certain items. We were forced to also move them locally. So which means that fortunately for us, our imports or importation is reducing gradually. And if you look at the major contributors to our GDP last year, number one was cash crops. Cash crop, we plant it in Nigeria, so it's local. Second is trade. Trade is buying and selling. They majorly happen locally. Yeah, some of the items you are trading may be foreign made, but at least the activity or the operation of the trade is local. Then third is real estate. Real estate is our land, our building, and whatever. They are also still local too. So the more our economy is less influenced by global events, but is more influenced by what is happening locally to us, then it's better. And that's one of the reasons why the entire tariff wars did not really shake our economy that much, because the US is not even the major export market for our crude oil. They were at one point, but that has stopped a lot of years ago. So just imagine they were like the number one people we were selling oil to. Probably like right now, our economy would have been another downward spiral. So it's quite important that we continue on this trajectory of local production. And if you look at a lot of the companies and a lot of the people that are really doing well in this country, there are people that are producing things locally. Dangote is the richest man in Nigeria. Dangote is known for cement. He's producing the cement. Dangote is known now for refinery. He's refining the oil here. He's buying the oil from here. refining it from here, selling it. Cisco oil, I've been doing amazing in the past 18 months right now, in terms of dividends, in terms of valuation. Presco oil are refining their palm oil here. Presco oil have their oil palm plantations here. Local, their raw materials is locally sourced. Their processing is locally made, and now they can either sell it locally or export it. So that also shows that there is now a lot of money in local production, and we have to replicate this across board, the tech industry, the medical industry, the healthcare industry, the logistics industry, the just name it, the educational industry. We have to make sure that we now have more local production, more locally sourced materials, or locally sourced raw materials for everything that we have in these sectors also, so that this can also boost our economy. So within the next 4 to 10 years, the next billionaires that are going to emerge from Nigeria, they are going to be people that are producing things locally here. So that's another truth for you. So if you are into the importation industry or importation business, you better be looking at alternatives right now, because that industry is looking like almost dying right now, basically. So and the sweet thing about how Africa will now benefit is the more we produce things locally, the less we depend on imports, and the more opportunity we are now opening for exports. Cocoa went up this year. Exports, a lot of people are making money, cashing out. One of my guy on Facebook, the guy is making bastard money from ginger. Exports. All it does is harvest, dry, exports. So, and not just ginger, we have cocoa, we have ginger, we have cashew, we have oil palm, we have cola. We have cola. We have sesame seed. We have sesame seed. We have soybean, and so many more like that. So a lot of people are now looking at opportunities for export in all this market too. And we still have other things like our catfish markets now also is doing a lot of exports also. A lot of people smoking catfish here for export standard, and so on like that. So this is going to mean that people can invest here in Naira, export those things, sell them, and get dollar to come into our economy, which will also still boost our foreign our foreign investment, or how do they call it? Our foreign reserve. Let me use that word. Our foreign reserve, because now we are not relying on going to the federal government to take out dollar, but now dollar is flowing in naturally from what we are producing in, and we are selling to the international markets, basically. So local production, the more our local production expand, the more our local production increases, definitely the more we are going to benefit from all these tariff wars that is happening here around the globe also. And another thing is one of the major excuses that the U.S. government, U.S. government have been giving in terms of the different companies that moved production away from the U.S. to China, is that it's affecting employment in the U.S. And now they are telling them, even if you don't take these production facilities or this chain of production back to the US, at least take it out of China. You can take it anywhere else. So which means that a lot of companies now, they definitely the less sophisticated ones, will be looking at other countries where they can move their production facilities into that are cheaper. That the labor is still cheaper, and definitely the labor market in Africa is probably like around the cheapest in the world. So a lot of them will definitely at some point also be considering pushing a number of their production facility into Africa. It may not be instantly as Vietnam, India, provides almost like better alternatives. But again, Africa is also like a very, very viable alternative for them. The labor is cheap, the labor is available because we have tens of millions of people are below 30 that can work, which is a very, very fantastic thing. So the labor is available, the labor is cheap, and now with digital infrastructure, a lot of us have data now. A lot of us have internet now. There are more people that are connected to the internet and more people that are connected to electricity grid now compared to 20 years ago, and that's definitely going to improve over the years as it get by also. So which means that there is the internet for them to train people about how to do this thing, and there also be lastly there also be a growth in remote jobs that will be coming to Africa now. So they're taking these jobs or these opportunities away from China. They are looking at somewhere cheaper that can still, with a large market that can still also accommodate this. Then Africa is there. So there will be a lot of more opportunities for people that can be here in Nigeria, be here in Lagos, and they'll be working for a firm in the US, working for a firm in Europe, working for a firm in anywhere globally, and they are being paid in foreign currency. So more of these opportunities are also going to come into Africa right now because it's going to be cheaper to do it in Africa or to employ Africans to do it, and it's also and there are more Africans that want to do it. There is a large number of pools of talent that you can pick from, you know. So and Africa still benefits, Nigeria still benefits too. So in all this regard, really, I know there are a lot of bad news. There are a lot of um, there are a lot of corruption reports. There are a lot of insecurity reports that are so rampant in the media, and that's what a lot of people over there see. But you have to scratch above the surface and look deeper into the demographics, look deeper into the population analysis, look deeper into the purchasing power analysis, look deeper into the growth, the economic growth, the economic policies, and how this shift is going to start affecting the economy, not now, but in the next 5 years, in the next 10 years. And you want to position ahead. So you still have to look at, hey, what can I do in Nigeria? Hey, what can I invest in Nigeria? Hey, what can I position in Nigeria? Yeah, I know you are not here, you may not be on ground, and that can be a very big factor, particularly if you want to do something like agriculture, and you're like, "Ah, I want to own a farm, I want to own a poultry, I want to open a piggery, I want to open a ranch, and so on, and I'm not there physically. How can it work? Will it work?" So a lot of you abroad need to reanalyze and re-strategize how you invest in Nigeria. Trust me, you have to change your investment model. As long as you are abroad, stop investing in things that needs your physical presence or your physical input to work. Stop. Because it will almost crash. It's almost certain that at some point it will crash. Because you are over there, the time difference is there. You still have your 9 to 5 or your 14 hours or your 13 hours work, whatever shift work. Probably you are doing 2 shifts or 3 shifts or 1 shift, and you have another business or another side also or another gig here, and you're trying to just marry everything together. At some point you get tired, you get exhausted, you get frustrated, and you just want to close it down. So change your model instead and start investing in a model where you don't have to be physically present and they don't need your physical input for that thing to work. You are only partnering. There are a lot of agriculture firms offering that model right now. Assetra is one of them. Assetra will plant the oil, they will mill the oil, they will sell the oil, and it's still your land and you still own your trees, pending when you want to take over in person. That's a model you can work with. Flinks and Crestview is another one. They run the shortlets, they manage the shortlets, they handle the booking, they handle the adverts, and see your apartment pending when you want to sell it. It works. It does not need your input, it does not need anything from you. So you need to change how you invest in Nigeria. Because one of the Ways a lot of you have got your hands burnt is if you want open businesses here, you've set up businesses here, you've set up companies here, and you still have to be the one to check the accounts, you still have to be the one to fund some certain things, pay some certain things, make some certain decisions. And then because you are not here and the people here, they know that you are not here, they make some certain decisions behind your back, and then the entire business collapse. So you now have to start investing in structure where you are just a piece, not the core. Again, you now start to invest in structure where you are just a piece and you're not the core. Just like the pop tech business that I'm starting right now. If you're an angel investor or you are an equity investor with us, you are not the core. We have the coders coding the solution. We have the CTO heading the team. We have the marketing team, we have the sales team, we have all the whatever. Your own is just at the end of the month get a report, see an analysis of performance and so on and so forth like that. And at any point that you want to exit, you exit and then you cash out. So you need to now start investing in structures where you are just a part. You are just a part of it, but you are not the core of that structure because you are not physically on ground. And that's one way that you can conveniently and comfortably still invest in Nigeria and still make the advantage, because this benefit is coming. This tariff wars is already changing how everybody is seeing each other. The tariff wars have changed how Europe is, the perspective of Europe, how Europe perceive the US. The tariff wars is already changing how the Chinese or China perceive the US. The tariff wars is already changing how Mexico, Canada perceive the US. So everybody is realigning. Everybody is changing there's in a realignment already. Everybody is changing their perspective. Everybody is changing their policies. I'm trying to see that, okay, what are the new opportunities? What are the new places? What are the new avenues that you have not really tried out yet that you can now try? This is one of the things. So there's a lot of disruption in the past 5 years. The COVID war was there. The tariff war now is there, and so many other things. So we are in a volatile world where nothing is guaranteed, and that's why if you are abroad, I don't know why you are just assume that you are going to be there for the next 30 years and you'll be fine. I don't know what's giving you that confidence in this volatile world that we are. Things are changing. Things are changing very fast. So you need to have a backup plan. All right. So this how I believe that Africa is going to benefit from the ongoing tariff wars between the US and China. I believe now China is going to look at dumping a lot of more of their products around the African markets, and also to build a couple of more products for the African market, and also to loan a couple of more infrastructure loans into Africa too. I also believe that local production in Africa is also going to spike, which also starts to drive the Africa export markets, and a lot of people will definitely make a lot of billions. So it's just a matter of will be among them. Again, also I believe that there will also be an increase in remote jobs opportunity in Africa, particularly in places like Lagos, where there are already a high tech pool and a high tech talents pool, and a lot of people will looking at also um, tapping into that talent pool, and that pool keeps yielding more, as we have like maybe 100,000 coders this year. Before you know it, another 10,000 people have joined them the next year, because we have that population below 30. They are coming, they are sharp, they are talented, they have tech, they have almost everything. So Africa, Lagos will present a very big opportunity for as a remote job hub for a lot of businesses that are pulling out, or that they have to pull out their whatever business or whatever they are doing in China before, and they're looking at, okay, what are the new source or places that you can still get this labor from. Definitely, they'll also be considering Africa, and they'll be considering Lagos, particularly for remote tech jobs. All right. So if you have something to add about this, or you have comments about this, then you can drop your comments, and I'll be glad to attend to it. And if you will also like to see the opportunities available in Africa, the opportunities available in Nigeria, the opportunities available in Lagos, or the opportunities available that you really don't have to be a core of, and you can still make money from, just be a part of it and you still make money from it, and it can be a perfect retirement for you, a perfect backup plan for you. Yeah, yeah, I have a couple of them that I can pitch to you, and you can see which one that you can tap into. All right. So once again, we are inviting you. We are inviting you to subscribe to our videos. Kindly do subscribe to our videos. If you have subscribed already, kindly turn on the notification button, just as shown on the screen. All right. So I still remain your number one property on the planet, your property advisor, property consultant, Rabi Mustafa. Thanks for watching our videos. I see you next time.